What is going on, comic book gang? My name is John C, aka Year the Collector, and today I wanted to talk about the very polarized Wonder Woman run by Tom King, Danielle St. Pierre, and Tommy Mori. I think Clayton Cowles is on the lettering, so shout out to Clayton Cowles. But specifically, the I want to say issues 11 to 13, the ones that were tie-ins to the Absolute Power event that DC just finished a couple of weeks ago. And I get it, I'm a little behind the curve, but bear with me. Life also goes along as these comics are coming out, and I just can't, I just can't cover everything every single week. So if you want to hear about what I have to say, just bear with me, okay? I appreciate you hanging around, subscribing, liking, all of that good stuff. But anyway, if you're not aware of what's going on with the current Tom King run on the Wonder Woman title, it's like I said, very, very polarized. And recently, something happened again where, you know, people either hated it or loved it, or they thought that it was okay. But if you check reviews, like critic reviews or reader reviews, they're like, oh, we hate this, or oh, I love this. Like there's literally no in between. I don't know why. But here we go. On issue 13, Diana, Wonder Woman, and Steve Trevor were like all over each other, like throughout the entire issue, basically. They were on a mission to rescue some people. They were accompanied by Damian Wayne, the Robin, and they just couldn't keep their hands off of each other, right? And a lot of people thought this was stupid, that it made no sense, that Diana wouldn't act this way. And I'm here to tell you why Diana and Trevor being all over each other in the Wonder Woman issue number 13 didn't bother me at all, right? They kissed 6 times to be exact, 7 if you count the backup story where Robin is the unreliable narrator, because he tells that story in his own way to Trinity, after the fact. Anyway, while I understand where the criticism is coming from, these two are on a rescue mission. They should be focusing at the task at hand, right? I agree with that. On face value, seeing the Amazon warrior princess showing emotions towards Trevor doesn't seem warranting when considering their surroundings. However, this issue and this moment doesn't exist in a vacuum, right? There's context, and context is what makes this understandable for me. Issue number 13 is titled Reunion. Besides the obvious reunion of the heroes rescued at the end of this mission, this is also the reunion of Diana and Trevor. They have not seen each other since issue number 6, when they were ambushed by the Sovereign Rogues. Here's issue number 6 with an insanely great cover by Danielle St. Pierre and Tommy Mori. And here's the scene where they are sitting, just talking to each other at the Washington Monument. And out of nowhere, Dr. Psycho, with the help of Triangle Man or whatever his name is, they're doing like a psychic attack on Trevor. And when Diana is distracted by Trevor's condition, Giganta attacks them from underneath. Insane. I recommend you check the entire issue, because the art is insane. The fight with Giganta is insane. Silver Swan has an appearance there in the fight per se, and then she fights what's her name, Gray, Darkseid's daughter. I can't remember her name right now, but it's crazy. I recommend you check it out. After reaching exhaustion, Diana collapses on the battlefield and was recovered by the Sovereign. Even us, the readers, didn't know what happened to Trevor. right? There's a fight. The Wonder Girls kidnap Sergeant Steele in the background, and we don't know what happens to Trevor, right? And there she is. Diana literally collapsed on top of her enemy after fighting to exhaustion. Issue number 7 was a break in the story. It had that story with Superman and Wonder Woman trying to find a gift for Batman. In issue number 8, Diana was being held captive by the Sovereign, who did his best to torture, humiliate, and break Diana's will with his lasso of lies. There she is, being tied to this steel bar. Here's the Sovereign pouring wine over her and talking down to her while holding the lasso. And during all of this, Diana was being forced into a vision by the Sovereign where she was living like a housewife in the 1930s, where she was being treated dismissively by Trevor, right? Not necessarily physically abusive or like really bad verbal abuse, but he was mistreating her, to say the least. I guess this is Tom King's attempt at making a criticism of trad wives, if you will. I think this is more for me what the Sovereign envisions the world to be like, what life was back in those days, because he is an old guy. When Diana was reaching a breaking point in those visions, they were interrupted by her mom and Amazon goddess Hippolyta, who gave Diana a second wind and the will to break out the whole of the lasso of lies. Pretty epic, right? She comes out, she breaks the lasso just out of this newfound will, and she attacks the Sovereign. The Sovereign unfortunately managed to restrain Diana once again with his soldiers, and what I'm not sure what is that they use on her, but it was some electricity based stuff. And then on issue number 9, again, insanely good cover by Daniel St. Pierre and Tommy Mori. Really love negative space art. I don't know why, but there you have it, issue number 9. We see Diana being held in some sort of solitary confinement by the Sovereign, with the hopes that exhaustion, hunger, dehydration, and solitude would break Diana. That was the plan, right? However, Diana created multiple scenarios in her head to escape her reality. In the very first image scenario, Diana is clearly asking her imagination version of Trevor to not break the spell and just go along with it. So there you have them having a nice dinner while Steve Trevor is wearing his dress uniform, military dress uniform. Really nice stuff. Then the next scene, Diana imagine being with Trevor in some very peaceful places, like a walk at a beach at night, or walking a valley with just flowers. Really beautiful stuff, or just enjoying the scenery on a city, right? Others were kind of romantic, like they were having this really nice slow dance at this really fancy party. Yo, shout out to the creative team on this, like Daniel St. Pierre and Tommy Mori. Like, this is just beautiful stuff, right? Whether you agree with King's writing or not, Diana was escaping reality using her imagination, and a big part of that mental strategy involved Steve Trevor. And then we have this scene, right? Like, it's kind of like an homage to that famous scene written by Greg Rucka, where Diana snapped the neck of Maxwell Lord, right? In her imagination, in her mental escapade, she is doing the same thing to the Sovereign, and she has Steve Trevor there with her, right? Then on issue number 9, we saw Diana washed up on the shores of an island where she encountered Cheetah. We still don't know how she got there, right? And issue 14 just came out, and that was never explained. But there was no Trevor on issue 10. Here's the cover for issue 10. The Wonder Girls, Diana, and a blue light in kind of like negative space background with Cheetah's eye. Another insanely good cover. Then before issue number 11, absolute power kicks in. Diana is with the Justice League at the time of Amanda Waller's world announcement. Here she is with the Justice League. I don't know how she got there, but there is no Trevor in sight. Then, following the first absolute power issue, we jump into the Wonder Woman tie-ins, issue 11 and 12. She was ambushed by one of the Amazo robots when she was with the Justice League Dark. And then she teams up with Robin, aka Damien, to interrogate Captain Boomerang. No Trevor, right? I think Trevor had a backup story on the Absolute Power Task Force 7 issues where they were kind of like showing that he got called in by Amanda Waller. He they wanted to basically keep him close so he wouldn't be uh, sending information back and forward between him and the heroes, because clearly they don't trust him. Like Sergeant Steele don't trust him. Again, Sergeant Steele is with Amanda Waller, even though last time we saw him, he was being held captive by the Wonder Girls. I always thought that I never saw a reason why Wonder Woman would be involved in Absolute Power, because Brainiac Queen, it's from the Superman comics, right? Like Amanda Waller is like everybody's villain. That's a given. And then Failsafe was from the Batman comics, but I didn't see a direct tie from anything that's going on in the Wonder Woman comics into Absolute Power. So like, and then I kind of felt vindicated because nothing really happened in the Wonder Woman comics that was part of like the main story per se. So it kind of threw everything off. Like the timeline is iffy, the continuation from Wonder Woman to the Wonder Woman tie-ins to Absolute Power is iffy as well. But anyway, finally Diana and Trevor reunite at the end of Absolute Power Task Force 7 in the backup issue, when both just happened to break in Waller's HQ fortress in the island of Gamora, which also I thought that it was kind of like pointless, right? That you had all these backup stories to have Steve Trevor infiltrate and made it all the way to the secret room in Amanda Waller's fortress, right? And then coincidentally, I think Barry Allen or Wally West, one of the two, also makes it into that room, and then Wonder Woman and Robin also make it into that room. So Steve Trevor didn't even get a chance to like be a hero or to like shine or like, hey guys, this is what I found and report back to them. No, like all of them made it kind of like at the same time to discover Waller's secret or backup plan, right? Which was if the Amazo and Failsafe and Brainiac Queen failed, she was gonna pull an army of villains from different parts of the multiverse. That was the backup plan there. But anyway, back to Diana and Steve. Remember, before this very moment in time here, the last time they saw each other was when Giganta attacked, when they were at the Washington Monument, right? So what, six issues ago, if you want to break it up in that timeline. So it is, in my opinion, this reaction is completely warranted. And by this reaction, I mean they seeing each other and like, stopping whatever they were supposed to do, forgetting about the world to just embrace each other. They love each other. They haven't seen each other. They didn't know if they had survived until this point. So, like I said in the beginning, this moment right here didn't happen in a vacuum. it had context, right? They had not seen each other. The last time they were together, there was an attack. She had been held hostage, kidnapped, and she was basically surviving that solitude and the torture and all of the horrible things that the sovereign was doing to her by escaping into her mind and thinking about having nice little dinners and romantic moments with Trevor. When she finally saw him and he saw her, they couldn't help each other but to have public displays of affection in front of poor Damien, who was, I don't want to say grossed out, but he was very annoyed by all of it. So, yeah, it too much at times? Absolutely, right? I'm not standing here for what the decisions that Tom King made, but having them embrace each other, hug each other, kiss each other a couple of times, perfectly fine. But that's just my opinion. I wanna know what you guys think about this whole fiasco, and maybe about the entire run and Tom King's decisions or lack thereof. Don't tell me about the art because I know everybody loves the art. Just tell me what you think about this moment, the tie-ins to Absolute Power, or your thoughts on the overall run. I want to hear from you guys too. So, with that being said, thank you for watching. You have a blessed day, and remember to read more comics.